Welcome to Inspiring Series with me, Farisha. And today we have a special guest joining us is Encik Ishak Karim. Assalamualaikum, Cik Ishak. How are you?
Waalaikumsalam. I'm doing good. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah. How are you today?
I'm good. Pretty good. Thank you for having me.
Okay. First and foremost, I would like to thank you for being in my show, Inspiring Series.
You are welcome.
Okay. And today we want to talk about interesting topics, yeah, Encik Ishak?
Yes.
Okay. So can you introduce us more about yourself?
Hi everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. I'm Ishak Karim. I started my elementary school or initial education was back in FELDA area. I'm actually the son of the FELDA. Then I continue on with doing my degree in the US and continue with computers. With that background, I've been an engineer for the past 25 years in semiconductors. But engineering is fun to do it as I grow older. I think I need to contribute to the community. That's why I started doing this advice in LinkedIn, one-on-one person, and also resume reviews. And then at the same time, I also share whatever my life experience just to make sure that what I have learned, and then I can share with my audience and also the youngsters. I also am an advisor to the University Islam Antarabangsa, just to make sure that
UIAM?
that I
Okay,
am
small world
really.
because my brother is an alumni of UIAM.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, good, good.
Okay, and moving on to the next question. Can you share with us the most challenging moment in your career and how you overcome it?
Yeah, there's two incidences that I would like to share here. And then first, when I came back from US, when I graduated and I came back, it was difficult to get a job. And
Mm-hmm.
then finally, after searching for 2 months, back then it was 2 months, it's very long.
Mm-hmm.
And
This
I got
was
a job
the
in
early 90s, yeah? Was it the early
late
90s?
90s, actually,
Late
late 90s,
90s. Mm-hmm.
1996 to be exact. And it was not easy. Then I decided to take whatever job that comes, and I work in the factory. There's nothing wrong. It's working in the factory anyway. But since my financial situation at that time, it wasn't good. And then I was
Mm-hmm.
supporting my 8 siblings and also my parents. And
Mm-hmm.
then the money that I made wasn't enough. So what I did was I said, well, career wise is still struggling because I wasn't sure what was my role and responsibilities. I wasn't sure how to address all those topics. But my
Mm-hmm.
financial issues has been the biggest problem for me. And I've decided to leave the country. That is a
Mm-hmm.
very drastic move. Leave the
Mm-hmm.
country and then start a new life. At that time, I was really want to start a new life in the US.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second situation was very recently for the last 5 years. Um, Somehow I cannot really get a good job by my definitions. That I already have a job, but the company wanted to close down the departments, and then I was struggling to stay afloat, and then I
Mm-hmm.
was struggling to find for a job. Um, but what happens was back then I started to get in touch with my contacts that I know, everybody that I know, and then finally I've got a job that it wasn't really what I want, and it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
really fit into my credential, but I tried it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I did it for 4 years. I was struggling and then stay afloat, and then I I found a job that I want, and this is what I've been doing for the past couple of years. Then yeah, just keep looking, and definitely you'll find what you want. Just a matter of time. So this is how I did it, and then this is how I managed the situation back then. It wasn't easy, yes, but yeah, you have to do it. You have to move on.
Yes, and I'm really fascinated by your career journey and also your stories, and Ishak, because I went through the same situation as well because I remember when I came back from Australia after I graduated from my bachelor's degree, after I came back from Melbourne, it took me about 6 to 7 months to secure a full-time job, and it was tough for me as well because I know that I have to send my resume out and I have to follow up calls. I have to
Mm,
keep calling and speaking to the HR. So most important thing is we need to follow up. Yeah, we need to follow up with HR. We need to be brave to pick up the phone and talk to
yeah.
them. So when you are a fresh grad, when you're in your early 20s, because I remember the time, I was young back in the day.
Mm,
So when I contacted HR, I was shaking because I was like,
mm,
okay, I'm not sure what to say. What should I say? What should I do? Because I just, come out fresh from university. So I need to be trained. I need to be guided. How do you want to speak
mm,
to that person? How do you want to speak to the HR? How do you want to
mm,
speak with a person that you've never met? And most important thing is how do you create that first impression to make them interested to interview you, to make them interested to invite you to come in to their
mm.
office. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So with this, communication skills, soft skills, and public speaking, it plays a very important role for fresh graduate because when you have good communication skills, when you have the soft skills, and when you have good public speaking skills, everything else will flow. You just need to be confident with yourself
Yes,
and you
yes.
have to be brave to pick up the phone, make the phone call, contact the HR person, and check on your application. Yeah, so I
Yes.
went through the same process
Mm.
as you went through.
Yeah,
So it took
for
me
me, I
about,
was lucky.
yeah.
Sorry, for me, I was lucky a bit because I've been exposed to this when I was a student in the US. I've been working for almost 6 years, and
Uh-huh.
communication wasn't really an issue. But it was like, yeah, you're young, you're fresh, you have nothing to offer, technically. So you want to be an engineer at that time. It wasn't as easy as everyone thinks back then. It's still true today.
Mm-hmm. So how do you overcome it? How do you overcome that challenge?
The To overcome that challenge is, first, of course, when you get a job, the first thing is to secure your first job. Somebody will have to give you a chance. When once somebody have given you a chance, then
Mm-hmm.
you create your number, you create your brand within that organizations, and then you have to expose yourself to everybody to get to, hey,
Exactly.
I'm here, I'm open, I have this, I have that, I have this, therefore hire me. So either internally within your company, or if you don't like the current company, fine, and then you have to tell everybody else that you are open. It needs to be like, say, I would say 3 4 years for you to create that, to build that skill that you need. Then after that, you have values, and you are the one who's naming the price instead of them.
Exactly. And we need to leverage on our personal branding, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, now moving on to the next question. What is your advice for students and fresh graduate after university? So when they are entering the working world, what would be your advice to them?
Yeah, this one is it went back, and when I graduated, actually when I graduated, I already got married at that time, and then my wife
Mm-hmm.
has been working for a
Mm-hmm.
while in Malaysia.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, give me a break. I wanted to take a break for a couple of months before I look for a job. And then my mom said, so you should be ashamed of yourself because your wife is making money, you're not. Therefore, I go and I have to start looking for a job immediately. And yeah, after 2 months, I got a job. But right now, given the current situation in Malaysia and worldwide, it's not gonna be that easy. It has been
It's
that
tough.
difficult
It's
already
very tough now.
already, and you
Yeah.
can see yeah,
Mm.
it's very tough. So um, they have to keep looking, stay positive, and keep looking. Reach out is the thing. Reach out for those who are in LinkedIn, for example. Reach out, and then there's people out there that you can guide you. They can help you, and
Mm-hmm.
they can really, give you an idea, something. If you're in that situation, your current situation, if you don't have a clear mind, then it's very difficult to think it through. You do need help from somebody else. So what I'm saying is, always I advise everybody that go and
Mm-hmm.
get help from somewhere out there.
And sport is very important for fresh graduates to seek help, yeah? Get a mentor, get someone senior to guide them and also to coach them.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay, and moving on
And
to the
something,
next.
if they're gonna go, sorry, go ahead.
Mhm, sorry. Mhm,
If there's many of them are asking me saying, well, while doing quote unquote nothing, can I
mhm.
pursue my degree, continue with masters? I think right now, as I keep saying to everybody, that it's not an option. It just make it more difficult for you to get a job later if you don't have a job now. Just focus on getting your first jobs. Then after that, you want to do your degree, go ahead, or your masters, go ahead. But right now, just focus to get your first job.
Exactly. I agree with you. Just focus on securing the first job. And once you secure that first job, everything else will flow. So you have to trust the process. So once you secure that first job, learn as much as you can, learn new skills, adapt to the new environment. And for the fresh graduates, start to adapt to the new working environment, to the corporate world. I know it's not going to be easy, but trust me, I've been there and I've done that. It's not
Yeah,
easy for me, but it's also a process for us to discover
yeah.
and for us to learn and discover ourselves. Okay, and for the next question, adab, good manners. Why is it important for us to practice good manners?
Well, the definition of good manners varies from culture, from people to people. Being
Mm,
an old guy like me, I'm still expecting, a good manners. So this is important because if
old
you
school,
right now,
yeah,
if you look at,
yeah,
yeah, if you look
yeah.
around, if you look around in the big companies or even the small companies, those are hiring other people like me. They do have the youngsters, obviously, but many of them, that still the people like me who's in old school, who still value this adab
Mm-hmm.
or value the
Yep.
manners. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we still expect the way we did it 20 years ago or even more. Maybe people don't agree with this, but 25 years ago, this is how we've been doing it. Then that manners, especially when we Asian, even if you look at around, even Americans now, they're more, beradab than us in Malaysia. That's really, for me, is really something, really strange to see that they are that way other than
Yeah.
us in Malaysia. So that also portrays your brand, because that's the first time for you to meet your hiring manager or HR. They don't know how well mannered you are other than based on how you approach them. That is the first impression, no matter how good you are. And you if you don't show that in your writing, for example, your first encounter with HR, they don't know, and then everybody else also do not know. um, then some people says, you are not so good yourself. So that's different connotation together, because that goes back to my earlier statement that the definitions of manners differs from one person to the other and one culture to the other. That may be a minor, but the main thing is everybody values manners, and good is defined pretty much similar across the culture. So if you're out of the scales of telling, hey, brother, got job or not, that is, you give that tone that is, we're going to give you a job if you, writing an email or message or WhatsApp, even like that to your
Mm-hmm.
hiring manager. Anybody else out there that you're asking for help? I mean, you are the one who's asking for help. Or, you have to show that you are the one humble enough to go down your ego and go and asking for help. Therefore, people will help you. People will be happier to see that you asking with humbleness rather than with your ego.
Exactly. Okay, I want to share with you my personal story. Okay, there's this fresh graduate. The person emailed to me their CV. So there's no headline, no introduction, no salam, nothing. It's a blank email with an
Mm,
attachment, only the CV.
mm,
Only the CV, Encik Ishak. Only the CV. And I opened it and I was like, okay, okay, so this is where we want to share with all of the fresh graduates and also the students for all the adik-adik out there who are watching this series. Okay, this is a platform for you to learn. It's
mm,
very important, exactly what Encik Ishak was saying, adab. Why do we need manners? Even when we're sending out an email to a person that we don't know, we have to
mm,
write an introduction. How? Simple. Assalamualaikum. Okay, so if you don't know whether the person is Puan or Cik, you can put like, Hi, Assalamualaikum, Miss Farisha. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Siti Kamaria. I just graduated from UITM Shah Alam, and I'm interested to apply for the following position in your company. So, doesn't that sound nice in your email? Yeah, because you have the body introduction in the email. So when the other person open up the email, when the HR open up the email that you sent, they get the clear picture. Okay, this person just graduated from university and she wants to apply for a job. So don't you think that it's easier that way when you write the introduction and then you're explaining to the person what you want? What is the objective of you sending that email to apply for the job? Yes. And then the next day, for example, the next day you get a call from HR and then HR invited you for the interview session. So it's all about adab. It's all about manners, right, Encik Ishak? Even in writing.
yes,
So
yes, exactly.
it's important for oral communication, let's say on the phone. So when you call HR, let's say you follow up. Okay, so I'm going to use my hairbrush. So I'm just going to pretend it's a phone. Hello, Assalamualaikum. Can I speak to Puan Siti? Yes, Puan Siti, you're from the HR department. Can I check with my job application? Okay. Can I get your full name? So that is how you follow up call with HR. You know, there's a way. There's a way for you to talk to them. There's a way for you to communicate. And it's the same thing with written email as well. So
Mm,
everyone watching this, communication, number one, communication is the key. So you need to have an introduction in your email. You need to have salam, assalamualaikum, dear sir, madam, puan, tuan. So that is very important. Okay. And if you send an email with only the attachment, I'm going to open your email and like, okay, I don't know what this person wants. So the person just send me a blank email with a CV. So just to share, so when you send a blank email with no written explanation, just the CV, the person receiving it is going to be like, okay, I don't know what this person wants. So the person just, attach the CV, no introduction, no objective, and that's it. So where's the courtesy? Where's the common courtesy, right? Yes, where's the greeting? Where is the salam? Where is the adab, manners? So, Encik Isha, you're right. So we need to go back to the old school values, go
yes,
back to, zaman dulu-dulu. So,
yeah.
for example, the values whereby,
Mm,
you start, pembuka kata apa? How do you want to open up a conversation? You give a salam.
yeah.
Or let's say, hi, dear sir, madam, dear miss, dear puan, dear tuan. Or let's say if the person is a high ranking person, dear assalamualaikum, dear datuk. You know,
Mm,
salutation is very important. So for fresh graduate out there, you need to learn the protocol. Protocol is very important for you to learn. Salutation as well. So make sure you know the designation of that particular person that you're contacting. Yeah.
yeah, and then
Okay.
I want to give you an analogy of, let's say, for example, you're asking somebody on the street, and then you just extend your arm and do like this.
Mm-hmm.
without saying anything. And then what do you expect from them to respond? They cannot respond with anything because that the extent of the arm, it may mean differently to everybody. That's one thing. The second thing is if you send an email without any explanation,
Introduction, any
introductions,
explanation,
everything,
yeah.
and then later on the HR executive or hiring manager wanted to refer back to your email. Typically, we're using search function to find something or find somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't click anything for them to remember, obviously they cannot remember thousands of emails. Then this, full written email with a very formal email helps when they try to search you for the second time or for the third time.
Yes, and it's really important for the fresh graduate to include all of their information in there so it's easier for HR to search for them. Yeah? Mhm. Okay, so we've come up to the last question. Jisha? Okay, the last question is, okay, we are in the PKPP stage, okay, recovering from COVID-19, and business are continuing to recover from the current situation. What is your tips and advice for people out there to stay positive? Because we know that with the current scenario, a lot of people are feeling uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen, and some are feeling sad, depressed, and some have been laid off from their jobs. So, what is your tip and advice for people out there to build the resilience, to stay strong, and also to stay positive in any type of situation?
Okay, so staying positive is important because if you understand the chi, the positive energy helps you, and negative energy really kills you.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've seen even in LinkedIn, there's a lot of negative energy coming in, which is not a good
Right.
thing. But
Yeah.
you have to stay positive. First, you start with your mindset.
Yes. It's all
All
about
that
your
have to
mind,
come down. Yeah,
your
you have to
thinking.
start with a
Yes.
mindset of saying,
Mm-hmm.
hey, it's okay, it's temporary, it's going to get better. And then when you clear your mind, if you're a religious person, be it whatever religion you are following, and then you just go back to the creator, go back to God, and make sure that really calm in what you're doing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not an ustaz to give this preach, but
Yeah.
just you go back to the nature. That is actually the nature
Exactly.
of you that goes back to your creator, and then
Mm-hmm.
stay calm. And just then you look at anything that you can control. Don't worry on something that you cannot control. I mean, the sky is going to fall down. What can you do? It's not much you can do. Why do
Mm-hmm.
you worry about it? And then you
Mm-hmm.
just focus and worry on something that you can control. There is focusing on how you're going to come back from that
Exactly.
situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can say it because I'm so lucky that I've never been in this situation, but I've been in a couple near misses. I know how it feel. Then you just stay positive and then just do whatever you can to just come back, and then get to know each other. For example, get your contact, build your brand, and then get help. Get help. This is so unfortunate here in Malaysia that the mental health is something that is considered like, if you have a mental problem, then say you're crazy. I hope moving forward, and those mental health practitioner or doctors in that area come up with awareness so that people can come out of this if they really come to the point that they do need help. Depression is not something to play with. Depression is a real condition that you really go and help get sick. Help from even from professional. If not, then find
Mm-hmm.
somebody to talk to. Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, I've also received a couple messages from my followers saying, I just want to talk to you, and then they feel better. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that they can help just to listen to you, and if something really private, and you talk to somebody that you trust,
Mm-hmm.
so that it won't go out to the LinkedIn story in the next day.
Right.
But you really have to stay positive. That's a big thing. It's tough because
Mm.
somehow in our world nowadays there's so
Yeah.
much of the negative energies floating around that
Mm-hmm.
to stay positive is a challenge. But
Mm-hmm.
once you try it, you get to that point of staying positive, then I give you the story.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a student way back then, and then
Mm-hmm.
we had some event, and the wife is cooking something on the stove, but the stove,
Mm-hmm.
but something happens, and then the pot turn over, and then everything is gone. And then the husband made a remark to the wife. It's not a good remark, but make the remark to the wife, and say, "Well, that's okay as long as you're not hurt. I don't care about the food." That means that if somebody else who's negative will say, "Wow, what is useless? Why you spoil the food on this kind of thing?" Then that is how the difference between being positive and being negative. Always look at the bright
Yes.
side. Hey, she's side. Of
Having
course,
that
Malay.
empathy as well. Having
Look at us.
empathy.
We always
Yeah.
have this. Malay always have this nasib baik. That's the way we should practice. Actually, you involved in the car accident. Oh, nasib baik tak mati. It's just still nasib baik, though that guy was really got hurt very badly, but still nasib baik. So that is how you stay positive.
And usually, Encik Ishak, for your followers, when they message you online, what type of advice do you give to them? Like how to stay resilient, how to keep going?
First, I help them to clear their mind, because I'm sure their mind is so
Mm-hmm.
cluttered with so many things.
Yes.
And then,
Mm-hmm.
you're in that situation. Normally, your mind goes, wow, it goes everywhere. And then
And they
I
need the
help them
support.
to
They
bring it
need
back
the
together.
they need the listener. They need someone to
Yeah, they need
listen to them
the
and support.
quote unquote discharge that negative energy that they have. Yeah. Once you discharge that negative energy, then you have this positive energy inside. And then I help them to build that positive energy. And then with that positive energy, then you say, wow, and then comes back tomorrow morning after a very good night's sleep. Normally we do it at night. After a good night's sleep, then they start to
Mm-hmm.
bounce back already, and then they start to
Yeah.
put themselves together, and then start working towards their goal. Else they have been like that for God knows how long. Until I have not seen those who reach depression yet, but there's a lot of people out there who's already reached the depression state. Unfortunately, the bad thing is they themselves do not recognize that they have reached that state.
Yes, and it's important for them to, stay calm, even though they are hit in that type of situation. And there's always a solution for every problem, right, Chisha?
Exactly. If you do not recognize that there will be a solution to every problem, then the root cause of the problem could be you. Because if you close up to every help, so every offer that is out there,
Mm-hmm.
then definitely nobody wants to help you. And then this situation always occurs like this. And then somebody try to help you, and they say, "Oh, that one is cannot. Oh, that one is cannot. No, I tried that. That one is cannot." Then if everything is cannot, then what works? You have to
Yeah.
open up and see. There could be a new ideas that coming out of somebody else that worth of trying. I know it's difficult, but we have to do it anyway. Else, you're gonna be forever in that situation.
Mm. And it all starts with your mind, how
Yes.
you think, how you appreciate, how you value yourself, self love, self
Mm.
care. So if you care enough for yourself, you care enough about your personal growth, say it to yourself and manifest it in your mind and say, I can get out of this situation.
Mm.
I can get out of this situation. I know it's hard right now because we are in a pandemic, you know, it's difficult right now where everything is uncertain, but put it in your mind, have a positive thinking mindset that we can get out of that situation, inshallah. We just
Inshallah.
need to build a strong mindset. We need to build a strong thinking culture, a thinking mindset where we think that this too shall pass. It's like the quote, right?
Yes.
This too
Yes.
shall pass. It's not going to be forever like this. So it's like rain. It's not going to rain forever. So
Yeah.
what are you going to see after the rain? So after the rain is done, you're going to see sunshine and rainbow. So
Exactly.
it's not going to be forever you are stuck in a bad situation. So believe me, my friends, the rainbow will come, the sunshine will come, inshallah. You just have to believe in yourself and think positive and start taking action, moving forward and change your life. Okay, so Encik Isha, we have come to the end of the show. Do you have any other advice that you would like to share with our viewers?
Well, I don't have any additional advice to be with, but what I can offer to the viewers is I'm available here in LinkedIn mostly. And if you need advice, if you need somebody to talk to, I'll be there for you.
Okay, so how can they contact you personally by email or by LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram? How they can reach you?
I only have LinkedIn, and
Mm-hmm.
I can be contacted only through LinkedIn. Then my email
Okay.
address is inside and the LinkedIn if they need to.
Okay, so LinkedIn, Ishak Karim, yeah?
Correct, correct.
Okay, thank you so much, Encik Ishak. Thank you so much for being with us
Thank
today
you.
on Inspiring Series. Thank you so much for sharing with us on your tips, your advice, how to move forward, how to stay positive, how to stay resilient, and thank you for sharing your tips for fresh graduates and students as well. So I hope you guys that is watching this, I hope you learn some tips and advice from Encik Ishak Karim. And if you would like to connect with Encik Ishak, you may connect with him on LinkedIn. And your LinkedIn is Ishak Karim. Yeah? Okay. So everyone, stay safe. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye Encik Ishak. Assalamualaikum.
Bye.